when you realize the pigeons were part of the experiment, the whole thing makes a lot more sense.
It still seems wildly unethical.
I don't know.
Depends.
It was a different time.
Depends on how you guys think pigeons are real. You guys still think that, huh?
You ever seen a pigeon and a dove in the same place at the same time?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Uncannery. I'm Don.
I'm Ron.
And I very much, as Doug, believe in pigeons. I just want to make that clear.
Wow. Hey, Doug, you're here 2 in a row.
It's really good to be here twice in a row, to say the least.
I lost money on that. So
How much?
$10 at the pickle court.
Yeah, at the pickle court.
Pickleball court.
We went from is that the natural court, a regular court?
Regular court is
That's
a
it.
pickle
Regular
court.
court is a pickle court. Very good.
So, hey, guys, from what I understand about having listened to you two talk to each other, it seems like you guys like to play games.
Oh,
Do you like to?
Don, we're always playing games.
Is that
I'm a
right?
game player.
Live to game. We're gamers.
You play us?
Yeah. That's us.
Is that you?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, what are some crazy, what's the weirdest game you've ever played?
Great question.
I was part of when I was a young lad at the local mall, they had a game show. They filmed a live television audience game show for an animal network for kids, in which they would bring out different animals for games. If you won the games, you would win gift cards.
Were you competing against the animals?
No,
Because I would watch that.
Yes, if they really, it would still be on the air if that was happening.
Put the kid in the cage with the tiger.
Yes.
And
That's-
2 enter, 1 leave.
That's
Yeah.
a solid
Yeah.
plan right there.
Rome did that. It didn't go super well.
Best empire in the history of the world.
That's right.
Where were you? No, the game that I had to play. So it started with the host of the show saying, "Whoever screams the loudest in this audience can come back." And I remember screaming to the point that I was in pain, I was really hurting my throat. And I saw the host looking at the crowd, and then his eyes went to me as I'm just full mouth, just screaming at the top of my lungs. And he goes, "You." Flutter of nerves. I get on the stage, and the game that we had to play was a variation of what is called Chubby Bunny, which is putting things, in this case marshmallows, into your mouth, and you had to say words off of a card, and the person across from you, who was my mom, had to guess what I was saying. And I lost because the girl that I was competing against, in my opinion, was clearly cheating, because she still had her fingers in her mouth. She'd put a marshmallow in, pull her cheeks back, and would still very clearly say the word. And I didn't do too well. I was definitely the chubbier bunny. I still am, but I didn't win that one.
What was the prize? Was it an elephant?
$500 to Sam Goody.
Oh,
I would
Sam
have
Goody.
That's
bought
pretty great.
so many albums, but
Oh.
my music career would have started way earlier.
Yeah.
If that's a whole different life path. What could have happened? You know,
What could have been?
what could have been? Indeed, that's a big one. Yeah,
That's a pretty zany game.
Yeah.
I've never been on a game show, but I do remember you reminded me that we went to an Angels baseball game in gorgeous Anaheim once when I was pretty young, maybe 10 or 11 or something. And they do radio stations will be out front, right? And they'll be trying to do little competitions or whatever. And they just sort of picked me out of the crowd. I was walking by with my dad, and they're like, "You come do this." And I was a kid, and I was I do what I'm told. So I walked over to this booth. It was a radio guy. I think he was for K-Rock or something. And he was take this football and throw it through one of these 3 holes. And I'm terrible at this kind of stuff. I just don't really like doing any ball throwing. I'm not good at it. And I just sort of wanted this to end as quickly as possible. So I just sort of took the ball in my hand and I just threw it as fast as possible. And it went straight through the bullseye hole, the big winner hole. And this guy's "Whoa, dude's got a cannon on his arm," or whatever. And then basically I got a K-Rock t-shirt that was 2 sizes too big. And that was it.
Very cool.
And then but I don't know if that's a game. I guess it's kind of a game.
It is.
I won that game.
That's a carnival game.
It was
right?
it was a carnival game. Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, Warhammer itself is also a very silly game. Like
Yeah.
the game of pushing little figurines across a table. People take it very seriously. I remember being a teenager and playing with some of my friends, and like we would like plan sleepovers around playing like a big game of Warhammer. And I had 2 friends who were brothers, and they absolutely hated each other at the end of a game of Warhammer. Like actual tears, crying, and like shoving each other, and it was bad. And we kept doing it because it was kind of fun to watch.
They were the Warhammers.
They were Warhammering.
Yeah. Getting Warhammered with your buddies. Yeah.
What is the game of Warhammer?
The game of Warhammer is really actually a sport of kings. It's a deeply tactical and strategic
So it's like badminton.
tabletop game. Yeah, very much like badminton.
Yeah, very similar.
Lots of crossover in that player base. It's a tabletop game where you move miniatures to fight a simulated war game against someone else's team. And in Warhammer, it's science fiction, and you got ridiculous teams. There'll be the bug team versus the Marines team versus the elf team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get them out there.
Yeah.
Do your bid. Notice that you didn't mention Custodes. Really hurts, but that's all right.
I'd rather not.
Hey,
They're the lamest team.
hey, you'll see them soon. You'll see them soon.
And of course, the part of the big thing about Warhammer is you got to then buy these little figures and then assemble them and paint them. And it's really more of it's more of an achievement to have even brought an army to the table.
Yeah.
To even have the opportunity to play is already a victory in and of itself. And then you have to play like a 3-hour-long game on top of that, which is of questionable like fun.
Yeah.
But still pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're not role playing it, I think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
It should be that level of fun. Yeah.
What's your zaniest game, Don?
So trying to think. So zaniest, like, so I tried out for a game show once. Like,
Which was?
with Card Sharks.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I and I left completely disillusioned. So yeah.
Wow.
With television, with the sport?
Yeah,
of cards?
because I was good at it, right?
Yeah.
Like I know cards, I know trivia, like that's all you need, right? But like you had to put on this over the top personality in order to continue to be selected through the various phases of processing. Like, so like they didn't ask us to scream our heads off like your experience, but it was, so I just didn't like, it wasn't.
Was the host of that one Bob Eubanks?
At some point, he didn't do the kid version though. It was somebody else. But anyways,
I know it's higher than a 2, Bob. I just know it. You had to be that kid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So,
I'm glad you didn't compromise.
So I didn't make it. But one time I did participate. Actually, I think I may have been my idea, but I'm not sure, at a church youth group when I was a young person. Gosh, maybe early 20s. We used to have middle school nights where we would just run games for 2 hours after.
As you do, yeah.
Just to tire everybody out so they go home. We decided to do it one night in Jell-O.
No.
So we hung plastic around the entire hall of the church, and your admission ticket was you had to bring a bowl of Jell-O, and then like the whole room was just Jell-O everything, and we had like relay races in it and fights, and it was fun.
I distinctly have a memory of a church group that ended with pig troughs filled with ice cream, and you just went in with your hands at the end of it. So there is something unique to church groups of like just
trying to make it messy.
Yeah, anarchy. Yeah, being really.
Well, I bring up crazy contests because I have got a good one for you tonight. That I want to talk about, but it's gonna be kind of a meandering path to get there. So you guys have a few minutes we can indulge in some history.
Sure. Yeah, I'm contractually obligated to.
And are we playing the game?
Hour, so.
Are we playing the game? Because I need to stretch if that is the case.
You know, if you would like to play the game, I'm totally open to that idea. You may want to run it by your wife.
Oh,
but we'll see.
Sounds more complicated than stretching.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go back to 1854 in Toronto, Canada. And that's the birthday of a young man named Charles Vance Miller.
Hey, Charlie. Welcome to the world.
You and I will just provide Foley for this history lesson.
Sounds good. Charlie, you're a beautiful young boy.
So he's born on a farm to farming parents, and decides he doesn't want to be a farmer. So he goes to university, probably not right away, like when he's older.
Fair.
And he graduates with a 98%.
Wow, Charlie, not bad for a farmer, boy.
He's a smart
Not
guy.
bad at all.
He passed the bar examination in 1884 and
Law bound.
and becomes a lawyer and is very successful at it. And then he decides to diversify a little bit. He starts investing some of his money. He becomes president and part owner of a brewery in Toronto named O'Keefe's Brewery. He purchases an express company and actually is responsible for delivering mail in British Columbia. He invests in a silver mine. And he does it just like a couple of months before they find a 14-inch wide streak of silver. So he's set for life at that point.
Is the game, how bad can you feel about your accomplishments in life? Because I'm not doing well at this point.
Well, he had time.
Yeah.
He had time.
I guess
He owned winning racehorses. So he was a horse racer. He invested in a racetrack. So he was part owner of the Kenilworth Park racetrack. And then they were building a tunnel between Detroit and Windsor. And he put a $2 investment into the tunnel.
You said he's from Toronto?
Yeah.
He's the Wolf of Toronto.
So that $2 investment turned into $100,000.
How fast?
He's dead by the time it does, but it's still it's a pretty good return on your investment.
He can't stop.
Yeah, he's just winning. Is he tired of winning yet?
Right? And you think that he would be.
Yeah,
exactly. But a strange thing, and we might need to circle back to this later, is that he doesn't have any romantic relationships in his life.
That's what you got to do to succeed. You got to have that grind set 24/7.
He maybe had one when he was younger, and the word jilted is appearing in a lot of the literature here, and but so one and done, I think.
Did he jilt or was he jilted?
He was the jilted one. Yeah.
All right.
So
that can wound a man, especially so young.
Yeah. But he was an observer of people. He liked that. That was definitely one of his pastimes. He was known for kind of a prank-like personality. Since he was so well off, he would sometimes, as a pastime, go and sit in the lobby of a hotel and place $1 on the ground somewhere where he could see it and watch people walk by the dollar and consider picking it up. Because $1 in the 1920s, like our value today, would be like finding a $20 bill. Like people will walk by a quarter or a penny or whatever. Sure. But like there's a $20 bill on the floor.
I'm picking that up.
Yeah, but apparently because it was inside the hotel, there was some kind of public, I don't know, pressure about, it'd
be a faux pas.
Yeah,
to be seen.
Well, and to be seen caring about that amount of money, right? Because like, why would you bother to pick that up if you're in a fancy hotel? You must be rich anyways, right? Mm-hmm. But so he liked to watch people like struggle with that, and then like think nobody was looking, and then go back and pick it up, and he thought that was fun. That was his pastime.
Only $20 for an hour of riveting entertainment.
Absolutely. Yeah,
for sure. Charlie was born 1854. Like I told you, Charlie grows old and Charlie dies.
What a life, though.
Yeah. That he lived. Hardly knew you, Charlie. Thank you.
Right.
It's good to have him, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for your money and your prank.
Yeah.
But like I said, he didn't have anybody to leave his money to. When he died. So as a lawyer, though, he knew the importance of a will. So he wrote a will, and his will includes some important pieces of, I don't know,
Ron,
caveats.
Yeah. Have you written your will yet, Ron?
I'm considering my will. I'm trying to think like, who do I leave my Warhammer to? Because it will be substantial.
Yeah, it really will.
And I can't leave it to someone who doesn't know how to play the game like you. So I probably need to start like raising a ward. Actually, your son is a strong candidate right now.
Don't do this to him. I'm trying to keep him out of the family business. Okay. Charlie left farming. My son will leave Warhammer. That's all I know.
You heard it here first. And now it's recorded forever.
Yeah.
So I've got that soundbite to play back to you
10 years from now.
10 years from now, yeah.
when we're in the podcast again, guys, turns out he's a Tyranid player. Yeah, I know.
So this is the opening of Mr. Miller's will. He says, "This will is necessarily uncommon and capricious because I have no dependents or near relations and no duty rests upon me to leave any property at my death. And what I do leave is proof of my folly in gathering and retaining more than I required in my lifetime."
Little self-important.
He's repentant. I think he's about to send it up to like all the rich people of the Gilded Age, right? Like, what were we doing, fellas? Is that what he's going to say?
Well, I don't know. So let me share with you some of there are 9 different clauses in his will.
Oh.
Let me share just some of them with you. I'm not going to go through all of them,
Sure.
but there's this one too. T.P. Galt, J.D. Montgomery, and James Haversham. I give for life my house on Jamaica Island, known as Ivy Green, on the Halfway Tree Road, and upon the death of the last survivor of them, I direct my executors and trustees to sell the same and give the proceeds to the council of the city of Kingston, Jamaica, for the distribution among the poor of the city.
What?
So nice guy. He gave
He's
away
giving it to the city
his
after
vacation.
these
Right.
other old guys die.
Right, but he's giving his vacation home to these 3 guys, but they have to co-own it
Oh,
until the last one of them dies.
were they all like enemies?
They all hated each other.
That's pretty cool.
I like that. That's good.
Another one. This, again, it shows his generous nature. He was a Roman Catholic, and he decides to each Protestant minister exercising his clerical functions and to each Orange Lodge in Toronto, I give 1 share of the O'Keefe Brewery Company of Toronto Limited.
A brewing company today.
Brewery monks.
That would go far.
Yeah. Protestant ministers in Toronto, Canada, though, Toronto was still under prohibition at this time. And Protestant ministers, for the most part, were preaching temperance. So it was he was leading
send up.
Yeah.
So
brewery to temperance ministers.
So clearly he's just testing their faith. That's what it is. It really is just a final gift to the Lord.
He is a temptation. He the tempter of Toronto, they called him.
There we go.
He also gave a share of a jockey club to 2 ministers who were known to be anti-gambling, as well as a third person who owned 4 other racetracks. And so it was that, though. The rules of the will said they had to own the share for 3 years. So it was a big question about whether these ministers who were so anti-gambling would accept the gift, because it was worth about $1,500, which would be like $25,000 today. It was not an insignificant amount of money, but they had to own it for 3 years in order to access that. So, how seriously are you about your anti-gambling compulsion?
Yeah. They could take it, and they could shut it down, right?
So what wound up happening, and I'm not sure how this happened, because the information that I have on this is that this happened in August. So Charlie died in October of 1926, October 31st, actually Halloween. And the following August, the 2 ministers apparently became members in the jockey club for exactly 5 minutes, because that was the minimum amount of time the bylaws would allow them to be before they sold their shares to somebody else. So they got around the will somehow.
Gotcha.
But
Lord, forgive me for these 5 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
that's it. Charlie's a real chestnut.
Most chestnut I've ever seen.
Yeah. So here's the thing that he's most famous for, though, is for it's provision number 10 in the will, which leaves the residue of his estate to the woman who has the most children in the 10-year period beginning on the date of his death.
Although a contest, he really was interested in populating the world.
Yeah, and maybe he was one of those like. We need the birth rate in Canada's really hit the toilet. We need to pull this up, otherwise, we're in Japan territory right now.
And based on what we know of this guy already, clearly that was his motivation.
Yeah.
For sure. So the amount of the estate that we have is about $500,000 Canadian, but $500,000
Huge
in 1926.
Huge.
That's a huge amount of money.
How huge are we talking? Because I have zero idea. One, it's too far away. Two, it's Canadian.
It's about $12 million.
All right. It's a pretty good amount of money.
That's enough that people do bad things to get it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So,
but what could be bad about having children? Childbirth's a miracle.
Children are the glory of creation.
Every child is good. No child has never been not provided for
or left behind.
And that's resulted in bad things for them and their neighbors. Never.
Yeah. As a new father, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah. You're already planning 10 more?
Just you saying it, I had to gird myself a bit.
Hey, Doug, you wanted to play the game. You were gearing up a little while ago.
I see now why I needed to ask.
I know better than to say, I'll play your game, Dawn.
Yeah. It's not really Dawn. It's
those
the chestnuts
three episodes
game.
You were gone for, I learned a lot about Dawn. I don't know if you listened to those.
Yeah, I did. We need, Nikki, honey.
12 mil.
Yeah, 12 mil. And we're going to spend it on the kids, obviously.
So how many kids do you think you would need to have to have birthed the most kids in Toronto in 1924?
Yeah. Well, don't 26. 26 to 36. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your
over under on it?
Those sound like primary, big family years. That sounds like, I'm going to say the smallest family is 4 kids.
Yeah, when they're having kids, then it's more of a
economic
at least
proposition.
3 of them are going to die, so we got to make sure these many take care of us.
We need one to run the potato field, one to run the cornfield, one to run the carrot field.
But he got out of farming, so that's the thing, So one to run the law practice. Yeah.
So what do you think the winning number is?
So
how many babies could you physically have in 10 years?
Me, none, but...
So you're not going to win.
Yeah.
Well, a little more than 10. What, 12?
Very wisely
13?
Yeah, I'm going... Biggest family I know is 16. And...
You know a 16 person family?
I've met one sibling from a family of 16. So I'm going to say... 16. I'll stick with the same
I cannot
number.
conceive of a higher.
I can't. And it wasn't a
You think
great
they can
story.
have 16 children in 10 years?
Oh, no, you can't.
Well, I mean, twins.
What's the
Yeah.
do the
Twins
math?
count, triplets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get some freaky stuff happening.
Yeah, literally.
But you have to be a factory. You can't let up for those 10 years.
Yeah.
If you're...
Can you imagine being, I can't imagine at all, but having met a pregnant person, I can't imagine asking someone to be pregnant for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, honey, come on, it's time. This must have been a very male-led, the phrasing in the will makes it seem like the women are the actors here and that they will get to choose to participate in this game. But I feel like there's a lot of men behind the scenes being like, "Come on, what's another one, honey?"
It's, but then I also know people in money. So this is happening. I'll stick by 16. Ron, what do you say?
This is Price is Right rules. I'll go 17.
I said, okay, all right.
I'll tell you, 17 is the largest family that I know of that participated in the game.
Wow.
But those children don't count because some of them were born prior to 1926. So the rules of the game only count the children born after the death of Miller until exactly 10 years after, which would be October 31st, 1936.
Before we go any further, what are the rules of wills? Someone actually has to do this? Like who's the guy executing the will? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he actually has to, oh my God, he's reading this like, I got to set up a whole game. So what, a town or a state?
So a town. So okay, Toronto. It has to be in Toronto. The children have to be registered in the log of vital statistics of the city. So it can't just be, there has to be official proof that the baby existed. And two things. Yes, there was an executor who was a fellow lawyer, and two, Charles was a lawyer himself. So he wrote this pretty buttoned up. It was challenged by distant relatives, like second cousins, who wanted to say that you can't do this, and they wanted his money. It went all the way to the Canadian Supreme Court.
Whoa.
And they said, no, it looks like it's a legal will. So the questions were whether two things. So the first question that was raised by his distant family was that this promotes immoral behavior.
It certainly does.
Mm-hmm.
Having children?
Oh yeah.
It's the most moral of all behaviors.
You see some of those kids, those little rats that run around the streets of Toronto.
Yeah.
You know, hitting your knee and begging you for 10 pence. Toronto 10 pence.
Yeah. I like that they're in the pence system. That's good.
It would be a toonie or a loony.
Yeah.
So no, but no, like, is this promoting immoral behavior? Is like, what would be the argument for immorality here?
I'm actually on their side. I would love to hear. I will cede the floor to my opposition, the procreator Doug.
Meaning, so Ron, you're taking the stance that
I think it is immoral.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you if the...
No, you have to disagree.
Okay, sorry. I definitely disagree with you because... no, this is tough. I'm just thinking of everyone who has kids that doesn't really want kids, and it makes me sad.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to get the very worst kind of, like, probably the people who probably shouldn't already be having a lot of kids. You're going to get those people saying, "Wow, that's a lot of money." Shucks. Or sorry, that's a lot of money. Like,
it's money, eh?
Yeah.
Proverbial Canadian joke just slipped its way in. We just lost all of our Canadian audience.
What do you mean? We're speaking their language.
Yeah.
Is that the way to the heart? Okay. I always thought it was
it's
food.
like the generational slang. They like this. Right, you're going to encourage people to be very irresponsible with their family planning, right? Like, whether or not those families can provide for all those children, or give them the attention.
The only thing I could see as a positive is just that end of life moment where you look back at your legacy of how many people are in your family. There seems to be a certain amount of warmth that a person has, maybe in their older age, saying, like,
well, sure, because
my kids.
This room is so crowded.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at me.
You think that's your last thought before you go?
If it is, what a terrible way to go.
It's basically how Titanic ends.
Not for the musicians. It was an honor playing with them tonight. Yeah, that's all I got.
So the morality question you guys are debating is the financial responsibility of rearing children.
I would say the emotional responsibility, the parenting responsibility, like, financial for sure. But
so the fact that in order to get that far in this equation, you have to have done the sex over and over again, that doesn't raise any moral questions for you?
No, because I mean that would happen regardless. I'd hope.
Okay.
Well, but his family was worried about the sex.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. I'm sure back in 1926 Toronto, they didn't care so much about like generational trauma.
I thought part of the Roaring '20s was the sex, but okay,
that was the roar part.
Yeah, everybody's
that was
roaring.
the problem. That's why everyone was so mad.
And the reason that I think that is because the second objection that they raised was that it was against the public good.
Oh yeah, to have all those Torontoans around,
to be promoting the families that were already impoverished and to be having more children than they could afford to raise.
Yeah, that part I agree with. But the sex is cool.
Thanks, man. Somebody had to say it. Yeah.
Only between married persons, though.
That's why I didn't find it to be quite as immoral, right? I mean,
but it's probably, what we've got. He's a Roman Catholic, and we've also got teetotaler Protestants right next door.
Right? Yeah.
Probably this is a very sex is for procreation regardless culture. Right.
Yeah, because is this bundled in with the pairing off of the house amongst men that hate each other and giving the temperate members of the clergy the brewery? Like, is this all packaged into one? Because those are easier to point a finger at.
Right. He seems to have a twisted, right? Like he's like the Wishmaster. Do you remember the Wishmaster? You remember that series of films?
Shout out Wishmaster.
A corrupted djinn who who gives you your wish in the worst imaginable way, that a non-intended way. Yeah, a monkey paw thing, right? Yeah. So he's giving you a house, but with two men you hate. And so it seems like there must be that he must have conceived of that element when he wrote this down also, right? I'm not just rewarding someone who makes a big family. I'm driving you to essentially curse yourself with way too many children to see if the value of the money was worth it in the end.
I think that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Right? Like, so we have... we all have had experience either tangentially or directly with provocateurs online or right.
I'd like to think we are provocateurs.
Oh, there you go. And why do people troll online? Why do people post?
So we're calling him a troll. You think he?
Well, I'm wondering. That's my question.
Is he trolling?
Like, is he? Because they do that on purpose to get a reaction out of people. You're raising the reaction. In this case, is yes, there's if you win the money, great, you get $12 million. But if you lose the money, second place sucks.
Right.
It really does.
You've got no money and a whole bunch of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
But he's dead.
Right.
Is anybody else thinking this? I'm thinking of the horror film franchise Saw.
I was really hoping you were going to go back to Wishmaster. But yeah, let's rope in as many horror film franchises as we can.
Well, if you're not familiar, the idea is there are very sick games. So these are very like horror film, sick games that this killer named Jigsaw sets up, in which people are put in situations because of selfish or destructive decisions that they've made in life, in which he's kind of forcing them into some kind of ultimate test. Like a person who's incredibly greedy maybe has a test that they're put into a death trap, but if they remove a pound of flesh from their body, like using blunt instruments, and put it on a scale, they can escape, and they leave their life realizing, I had to give up this part of my body, but then at the same time, I did this, and
it's corrective in some way.
It's corrective in some way, right?
And they reach an epiphany.
Yes, that's usually what it is. Yeah, like there were some people that are victims of Jigsaw that say like he helped me, which is like one of the most horrific, things in the movie. It's like no, like you've been corrupted by this, and obviously he's not doing this to hurt people, but. Maybe he is. Yeah, I was just going to say, in some ways, I suppose he kind of is, because these things are being bound up in a legal document that maybe changed the course of behavior of somebody that they might not have made the same choices that compromise them in some way. So instead of it being corrective, it's to test their, will. Because ultimately, right, if you're telling somebody, like, do you want money this bad that you're willing to potentially have too many kids that you can't take care of them, then we're back.
Well, change the entire trajectory of your life, right? Like it is he is exercising a form of ghostly power. He's like the most powerful ghost in Toronto.
That's right.
Right, influencing all these lives for the idea or promise, the whiff of this money.
Yeah.
You used the word troll.
I did.
How are we defining troll? Because I'm sure most of the listeners also are aware of like how the word troll is used in modern parlance.
Ron, I feel like you're the expert at this, considering you have the most knowledge about Lord of the Rings, but go ahead.
There's no troll in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah,
there is definitely a troll in Lord of the Rings. Multiple trolls.
Several.
Okay, we know the mythical troll monsters, but online trolls are very different kinds of people, right? These are how are we defining?
I would define him as someone who deliberately posts provocative, offensive content in order to get an emotional reaction or to disrupt some type of conversation that's happening.
Okay, yeah. So I think two important things. Yeah, they disrupt conversations and they are just fishing for a reaction, an emotional reaction from their interlocutor, right? Okay. And like you said, he's dead, right? So he can't he doesn't seem like he is like disrupting something or provoking reactions.
Well, he's disrupting behavior, right? I mean, we would assume that some of these families wouldn't have. Some of them are trying to have large families, so the behavior didn't seem to change. They seemed to accidentally be in the race.
Right.
And some of them did overtly changed behavior to try to win.
Was there a provision that the race had to be announced? Like, couldn't you do this in two ways? One is just, hey, at the end of 10 years, I want you to go through the county register, and whichever family happen to have had the most kids, give them this money, they will need it. That would be the Scrooge
de facto
on
winner.
Christmas morning approach, right? But the Scrooge prior to Christmas Eve sounds like the one he did, where he announced it, and were people aware that this was a game?
He did not announce it. It just was a provision in his will because he didn't know what the moment of his death would be. Right? His will just said from the moment of his death, 10 years exactly. And so it wasn't. It was for several days later that after obituaries were published and people actually became aware of the will's existence, that the rules even became known. But at that point, like, you didn't have to announce that you were participating. Like, it just was the clock had started when he died. Whoever happens to have the most babies by the time. So the executor planned to do exactly what you said, which is to at 10 years time, look at the rolls and see which mother has the most children and announce the winner. But what happens is that at the beginning, nobody cares. It's 10 years from now. Like, you can't. It's not like running a race. You don't have to start running right then. Then, like, throw off their clothes and go have sex right then. We got to start.
I read, I screw.
But it did start to pick up at a competition, and actually the Toronto Daily Star picked up on it as a story, and that's where it took a turn.
Okay, so
this was going to be my question, because another thing defining within troll is, like, I think of a YouTube comments section, like
what's that?
Where it's nothing good. Yeah. I can start there. Where maybe it's affecting, I don't know, like 100 people that read it, and then I think of something like this, and I was going to ask, what is his audience? Because how many people? But if we're being picked up by, statewide news, that's a whole different.
So it took 5 years. So 1830 is the first newspaper article in the Toronto Daily Star about this contest happening, and they actually assigned a reporter to identify pregnant women in Toronto and go secure the rights to their stories.
Wow. Excuse me, are you pregnant? Thank you.
Thank you. That's exactly how.
And they're the ones that named this event that actually still carries this name today. So they called it the Great Stork Derby.
Oh,
yeah.
I just picture Charlie on his deathbed. What's the difference between the horses I was racing and these women having babies? Nothing. That's life.
His deathbed. He's like, that's lame. I totally want it to be different.
So they actually started to print a horse card of the winner.
Oh my god!
In the newspaper, showing the number.
Were people placing bets?
I believe
probably
so.
like
yes, but illicitly? I don't know for sure. Yeah. So in that list, right, some names started to become more popular. So Mrs. Kenny was a name. Mrs. Kenny was known for being very protective of her image. So she only would allow the newspaper to take photographs of her if they paid her for the photograph.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
No,
so the story goes that apparently a photographer snapped a picture of her without permission at one point, and she decked him.
Sick.
So good for her.
She became
low lives. You got it.
One Punch Kenny was her name from.
Sick.
Wow. Wow.
I'm pulling for One Punch Kenny.
It's hard not to, right?
Let's see. Who else do we have in the running? We have Mrs. Bagnado.
Okay.
Yeah. Mrs. Bagnado.
Like a Star Wars character.
She did. She had the big pastries on the side of her head. And, totally.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Yep. Big time.
Yeah. So she gave birth to twins in the early 1930s, and apparently at the birth of the twins, the doctor commented to her, "Oh, are you trying to catch up with Mrs. Kinney?"
Oh.
And Mrs. Bagnado didn't know there was a contest.
Ugh. What a terrible life moment. Like what a terrible, like you have this beautiful, like, wow, I've had twins. Like, look at what's in store for me. And your life's about to take a different turn if you're greedy, even in the slightest.
So Bagnado moved to the top of the card on the Toronto Daily News racing card.
Bagnado's got it in the bag, baby.
Because with these twins, she had 10.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown, who had 9,
Hey.
her husband had this to say about Mrs. Bagnado taking the lead. If a few more Canadians would be themselves and produce a decent-sized family, the country would not be overrun by foreigners.
Boo.
Mrs. Bagnado was
from Mustafar,
the daughter of Italian immigrants. So she was Canadian born, but her parents were immigrants from Italy. And her husband, whom she had married when she was 14, had come from Italy in an arranged marriage to marry her. So she herself was not an immigrant, but her family was considered such. Mrs. Brown added that I can't let any Italian get away with that leadership stuff. I'm Canadian, and so is my husband. We're honest to gosh, dyed-in-the-wool native-born Canadians of the 5th generation and think 6 babies in 5 years ought to be the lead.
Those Browns.
Yeah. The Browns have always been rotten to the core.
They really are. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
I'm just glad Canada's as racist as America.
Thank you for being
Utopia,
glad about
my
that.
butt.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Yeah.
Well, it's ugly.
Well, it's getting ugly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, Charlie? Why'd you have to do this?
Because he could.
He's laughing.
Yeah, for sure. So here's what happens is it comes to 1936, right? We get to October 1936 and somebody has to decide who the winner is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the executor?
So, well, the executor has some problems.
Okay.
So yes, the executor has to decide, but he's being sued left and right.
Okay.
And they wind up in a courtroom, and
a regular courtroom,
a regular court of law courtroom.
And it's hosted by Maury.
Yeah.
Instead of you are not the father, you fathered everyone.
Povich.
That's right. Absolutely. So terrible.
Fired everyone.
You fathered everyone.
Oh,
It's not The Apprentice. All right.
the less I understand the joke, the funnier it is.
It's so well for somebody.
So the judge who presided over the proceedings was named Justice William Edward Middleton. And on the first day of the proceedings, into Judge Middleton's courtroom walked 32 attorneys.
Whoa. Were they all the children?
Yeah.
Well, it's representing various different women who thought they had won. One of the attorneys was representing the Attorney General of Toronto.
Oh, cool.
Well, of Ontario.
Right.
And so when he announced himself as representing the Attorney General, Justice said, "Really? How many children does he have?"
So this is good. This is a script for like a 1944 Jimmy Stewart film or something.
Well, all of you seem to be having a lot of kids.
Honey.
Wow.
They did. They did make a made-for-TV movie in the early 2000s.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah. So he first thing he does is weed through 32 and get it down to 6.
Okay.
Quick.
Anybody representing anyone with less than 8 children was immediately eliminated, scratched out.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah. But we still have some confusing situations we have to deal with. So we've got some women claiming 12 children, but of those 12 children, half of them maybe are stillborn or miscarry.
Oh, yeah.
So question is, does that count?
Yeah.
Will says children born.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say no, aren't they?
Of course, if they're not the party that, yeah, that's going to get thrown around. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think you would say no, don't count children who die.
You want to?
I think I would count them, but I'm feeling like they are going to not because they're going to say this was not successfully quote unquote born.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to get ugly.
And then also, I imagine it becomes a record. It could be a record problem, right? Like were they ever filed? Didn't you say they had to be on record?
Yeah, they had to be on record into the log of vital statistics. So what Judge Middleton rules is that a stillborn infant is not a child, but that which would have been a child is how he phrased it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to get ugly, but man, is that bad.
So
thanks, Judge. Yeah. Making my life better.
Yeah.
Over here.
If Jimmy Stewart says it, it's not as bad.
Yeah. I think they skipped that part of the script.
That's my guess too. Made for TV?
Yeah.
No way.
So this was bad news for One Punch Kenny, your favorite so far, because One Punch Kenny had lost a child to stillborn and was now reduced to 8 children.
So she's punching everybody at this point.
Yeah.
Punch up, Kenny. Punch up.
Yeah. So
thank you.
So now we have one other issue with a figure known as Mrs. X.
Oh, sick.
So it's a comic book now.
Yeah.
Superman shows up.
Mrs. X enters the court.
Mrs. X was tracked down by the newspapers because she had 10 children born within the window.
Wow.
Yeah. The closest other, so the group that is currently in the race is 9s. So we've got a few other women with 9s. Mrs. Kenny just had her number reduced to 8 because of the ruling on stillborn. But Mrs. X has 10 children.
And their names are A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
1 hundo, 2 hundo, 3 hundo.
You're named after the amount of money she's going to get from them. Yeah.
Mrs. X used a pseudonym for a reason, though. And I will first tell you a fact about her that is not the reason for the pseudonym. The first fact is that she's 24 years old.
Ooh.
We started early.
Wowza.
Yeah. Can you do that math? How old was she?
Don't want
to. 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So 14.
Yeah. So she was 14 years old when she started having children and had 10 of them by the time she was 24.
Freshman in high school. That's terrible. Yeah. Now we're back to the moralism here.
Yes.
It's not
this
great.
It's not the fun script I thought it was going to be, dog.
Legally married, though.
Okay.
Sure, whatever.
It's 10%. 10%.
Let's call that a win for Mrs. X.
Thanks, Mrs. X.
So no morality issue, right?
That's a morality issue.
I'm feeling it.
So, I mean, I guess like...
But you're applying 2025 morals, though,
right.
to a situation that's 1926.
Yeah.
I imagine Mrs. X as a 14-year-old in 2020... What? 1926 is... still probably doesn't want to have kids. I don't know. Was it more common?
It was an accident?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Was it more common for people to have children at 14, 15?
Big families,
in Canada?
Big Catholic community in the area.
We're busy.
Apparently marrying young because 14, 15 seem to be the age of marriage for most of these women. Here's the issue with Mrs. X. Her name is actually Pauline May Clark. So she was married to
Tommy May Clark.
Mr. Clark. Yeah. Mr. Clark apparently was a little bit physically abusive.
Oh.
So 5 years into her marriage, she left him.
Okay.
At that point, she had 5 children.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She lives with a boyfriend. And has 5 more children.
Jeff X.
So does she win? She had 10 children.
Yes.
Still children.
She had 10 children.
She had the most
game
children.
said the woman who has the most children, not the woman who has the most children in a single marriage.
That's correct.
But the court's going to say no.
Why do you think that?
Because they suck.
Because Jimmy Stewart's running it. He's like,
this
traditional.
This rotten negative land, Jimmy Stewart. He's like,
what would be the rationale? You're correct. They do disqualify the children that are not born of her husband. Why? What would be the rationale?
so the second man she does not marry?
She does not marry.
So it's out of wedlock or something.
Right. So here's her explanation was that she left her husband because he was abusive and she expected that he would divorce her. but he just never did.
Oh,
So
she can't.
They're illegitimate children. That'd be it.
Yeah. They don't exist in the eyes of the law.
Started out as a made-for-TV movie. Now it's just a tragedy.
They would have been children if she had been married.
Man, slow motion scene at the end. All of them fighting and screaming.
They start disappearing like Back to the Future photographs.
It's just the judge reflecting on his life, going, "What have I become?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife tries to cheer him up in the morning with like a hot bowl of oatmeal, and he just can't bring himself to enjoy it.
Throws it against the wall because there's no cinnamon in it. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
We're visual storytellers.
100%.
So here's the thing, though: were the children born out of wedlock?
Oh, if she was technically married,
She was technically
they
married.
are children.
They are children,
Yeah.
just not by that man.
That's true.
I mean, are these bastard rules? Because that's where things get tough, right? If we're getting really medieval, they're not part of the royal lineage.
It's 1926. It's not medieval.
It's pretty close.
Right? The way that we're treating them now,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, I mean, if I'm the judge, no disqualification. I'm wearing a ref shirt.
But we are pulling for these women.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: the Ontario law says that children born in wedlock cannot be counted as illegitimate. So her attorney argues these are legitimate children.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because she was married, right? The judge says no.
Not buying it.
Yeah, the judge says children, when used in a testamentary document, meaning Mr. Miller's will, must mean legitimate children. So the judge rules against Mrs. Clark, and she now drops out of the race down to 5.
Wait, what was with the X? Was that like she wanted her name
because she was living with a man who was not her husband and having
so she didn't
children,
want
so she didn't want the publicity.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but they tracked her down anyways, and they
Filthy yellow journalist.
She may not have wanted the
Maple
publicity.
journalist.
It's just getting so dark for all the Canadians who listen. I swear.
So we're left with 4 women. Annie Smith had 9 children in the 10-year period. She's the one that we know the least about, so she's probably the most boring of the women. Kathleen Nagel also had 9 children. Lucy Timlick had 10 children, but one died in infancy before she had it registered, so there were only 9 counted. But she wins. And then Isabel McLean.
All right, 4 winners.
4 winners. All get $125,000.
Did Paulina, Mrs. X? Did Pauline do something to make this judge mad? She seemed very close to taking it all, and he was like, "Nah, I'll just split it 4 ways with these other."
And you get none.
Yeah.
Dang. She sued on the side. Both she and Lillian Kenny, the One Punch Kenny, both of them sued on the side because they thought that they were owed something, and they were awarded in an out-of-court settlement by the executor $12,500 each.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a great deal, but if you do the CPI math, that's about $200,000. So something, yeah.
Okay.
The $125,000 prizes for the other women works out to about $2 million each.
Dang.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So did we follow their lives afterwards? Did this drive them into happiness?
And they are surprisingly responsible with their money.
All right, sick.
They buy houses. They educate their huge families.
Yeah.
The most eccentric thing that I found was one of them. I think it was Mrs. Timlock took a trip to New York with her husband. That was it. Otherwise, they use the money to raise their families.
That's pretty cool. Good for them.
So victory for morality. What do you think?
I don't know. It all shook out a lot uglier.
Yeah.
than I kind of thought it would.
Everybody leaves in pain.
Yeah. It's not fun when you bring the law in and have to start questioning the personhood of children born legitimately or otherwise.
I want to know. I want to go back to Charlie sitting with the dollar in the hotel.
Yeah,
and it's like, was he doing it? And every time somebody reached down from the dollar, was he saying in his head, "There's another son of a gun who reached for the dollar"? Aren't they all these sheep? Like, it seems a lot.
That's
darker.
exactly what it is. It is I think trolls troll because they want to feel a sense of superiority. Right?
Yeah.
And you can rationally be like, there is no superiority in having made someone contemplate picking up a $20 bill or whatever, right? But I think they would argue it shows I have power, right? I influenced or manipulated someone in some way to do a thing. I controlled their emotions, right? That gives me a sense of power. And it's ultimately a very fickle and kind of useless sense of power, because like this is something we do every day, right? We influence people's emotions every day, usually in positive ways, right? We try to have a positive influence on the people in our life and make them happier, make them more content, whatever. And so then to be like, well, I can do the opposite, probably means you're struggling to do the first, right? Like,
right.
You probably struggle at improving people's lives in positive ways. It's very easy, and there is no skill check to that requires you to like do the opposite of improve someone's day, right?
And now I'm starting to, of course, fill in blanks that I don't really have any right to. But is it a coincidence that he doesn't have anybody close to him? You know, like maybe it's not that shocking all of a sudden that, like, of course you don't have people you don't want to leave this to. And again, I know I'm filling in who this person was without really knowing him. But yeah, I wonder if we were a little bit rough around the edges with all of that success, but I think my personal view goes in of knowing like the people who in quotes have everything, but they have nothing, you know? Because he's a very successful guy. But yeah, it does change the narrative a bit when you think of everybody walking out of that courtroom. Yeah.
Should we do it again?
Well, first I have to ask Nikki, and then we'll see what we can do.
If Doug's in, I'm in. Can't let him get away with winning again. No.
Thank you.
No, I don't know. It doesn't sound fun. Maybe at the time it seemed fun.
I don't like people, so
yeah, let's watch
fewer
them.
people, the better.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like you said earlier, maybe I'm approaching it with 2025 eyes, right? And at the time it was a fun, you know, like family was important and people were having on average larger families. So maybe it didn't bend the needle for that many people, right? Maybe they didn't really behave in a way that was that extreme from what they were already going to have done.
Speaking of fun, I forgot to tell you that what happened to one of Mrs. Kenny's children was that it was bitten by a rat and died.
That is fun, Don.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 'cause Ron was bringing up how much fun it was for people to be participating in the game. Just wanted to.
I don't mean it was fun for the participants, but I mean like maybe the
it was fun for the dead guy.
Thought it was fun, right? Or maybe him dying thought it would be fun. This will be a fun thing for Toronto. It'll put Toronto on the map. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe that is
Baby
literally
capital of the world.
And maybe that's just a 1926 man's worldview. Like it wasn't informed by any real, like you said, understanding of what that would do to these women or those families, or to be a child who was born under such a circumstance, or blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So no, I don't think we should do it today.
All right. Done.
Again, I'll let you know what my wife says, but in the meantime, no, I don't think that good things came out of that. I think about, I'm thinking about everything that he put into his will, and you think about like the larger consequences there, whether it's the person, because there's a certain amount of admiration that I have of putting your literally like where your money where your mouth is, like in terms of like, do you actually believe these things, that I don't necessarily think is a bad thing to test. It's just too bad that people couldn't figure it out. You know, like when humanity doesn't serve itself right because it's like they do get too greedy, you go, oh, damn. I thought we might get one good story out of it, necessarily. Yeah. So there's another part of me that's like, no, people should be able to do what they want, and even if it does have the consequences that it does, because human beings should be better. It's just too bad when they're not.
Yeah. And also, if we are calling the participants in the game greedy, or something, right? It doesn't mean all humans are greedy, right? I think we sometimes make the mistake of being like, oh, some bad apples prove that humans are rotten species. But it's like, for every one person enjoying the competition, there was however many who said, hell no. Like,
yeah, I'm not joking. Yeah.
And I have to say, because I already hinted, but all of the families that participated seemed to be strong, caring families. Like it didn't seem like anybody is just recklessly trying to win the race. They wanted large families. They professed they wanted large. They had large families before the race even started.
Right.
So the mayor of Toronto, when the Derby began, a guy named Thomas Foster, he was the mayor from 1925 to 1927. So he was not the mayor when the race ended. But gosh, he said this was such a fun thing. He died in 1945.
No.
And he decided that Toronto should have another Stork Derby.
Oh, God.
And matter of fact, he in his will set up a contest that began on a rotating schedule. So same rules, 10 years to have the most babies possible. First place is a $1,250 prize. Second place had $800 $450 for third place. And there was a contest that began in 1945, 1948, 1951, and 1954.
What's the overall record?
So I don't know. I couldn't find results on that one. It seems like that one wasn't as didn't capture the imagination of the public.
It's not $12 million, right?
Yeah,
and it does. Being the second guy to do it, you lose some charm, right?
Yeah,
like,
sure do.
It's like, you're just copycat dweeb mayor.
Yeah.
And to completely ruin the Saw franchise, guess what happens when Jigsaw dies? Somebody takes over the mantle and says he was doing good work. Yep. So now we know this is the origins of the Saw franchise. That's what I got out of this today.
I think you paired those. You demonstrated some strong parallels.
Wow.
You really jump into some conclusions there, but I appreciate your optimism, Ron. Now, please give me your Warhammer army.
So one of the winners, Mrs. Timleck, in just a few years ago, in 2015, a newspaper tracked down a descendant of the Timlecks and found a guy still living in Toronto who pointed out. So she had a family of 17 children. So only 9 counted in the race, but she had children from before and after. And the guy they tracked down in 2015 said he has more than 100 first cousins.
Oh, yeah. This would really shape like a couple generations, right?
Yeah.
So
Thanksgiving is going to be wild.
Maybe that was Charlie's real gift.
that's the thing. Charlie had no children.
Yeah.
And so a dead lawyer gives birth to literally hundreds of children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Way to leave.
He should be revered. Does he have some sort of edifice in Toronto somewhere?
He does not, but Thomas Foster does.
Okay.
So Thomas Foster, the second Stork Derby guy, actually has like a little mausoleum that it kind of looks like the Taj Mahal. So,
And if you ever watch Charlie Brown, that was about his life.
Yeah.
Charlie Brown also never had children.
Well, not yet. He's just a kid.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charles Schultz. That was completely wrong.
Well, thanks, guys, for a good conversation.
Thank you for bringing that. I had no idea, Don, any of this existed.
Like anything can be a game.
Anything can be a game. You're right. You asked us what our strangest games were, and I'm realizing we need to push it up. Like they did not hold a flame.
And I didn't realize that recently becoming a father is a game, but I guess it is.
Yeah, it's a game. Treat it like that. And you need to win. If you don't, your whole family loses.
Thanks for the encouragement, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.